What's up, everybody? Welcome back into Captain 209. It's me. I got Carson, I got Alvin, and I got two amazing coaches battling it out for the SJ2A championship and that Don Norton trophy. Coach Derek Graves and Coach Eric Crocker. How are you guys doing tonight?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Excited to talk some high school football.
Yeah, no, same here. Doing great, man. Blessed.
That's good. So for everybody at home that doesn't know you, don't know you guys, I'm going to start with you, Coach Graves. I know you were on just a couple weeks ago, but for the people that don't know, who are you?
I'm a man of many things. Head coach at Cesar Chavez High School, husband, father, leader, somebody who's just humbly trying to serve his community in the best way possible.
Here we go, Coach Crocker.
Yeah, everything D Graves just said. Nah, Derek Crocker, I'm here from Stockton, California. A lot of people don't know I just played against my old high school, or coached against my old high school. I went to Tokay High School. I had the opportunity to play college football, play some professional football, and yeah, I think like D Graves, I think both of us were kind of chosen to and entrusted to be in a spot to lead, the next generation. So, I'm excited to be able to do that and be able to do that while competing with a lot of my some good people that I know.
Absolutely. So for you first, Coach Graves, I know you guys are right on the verge of an undefeated season. How does that feel?
Oh man, it's a blessing, man. Just because it's purpose driven. I was at a school that we went to the semifinals for Division 4 back-to-back years, again away from the section championship, and I was led here to a 0-10 school. So just really proud of the school, the community, the buy-in to go from 0-10 a year before me and the staff got there to these kids buying in and possibly going 10-0.
Absolutely. And for you, Coach Crocker, you guys are 8-1 on the year. Just the one loss at the beginning of the year to Liberty Ranch. And then you guys flipped a switch. You guys have won your last 8 in a row. The ball's clearly rolling in your favor. How does that feel?
Oh, it's been awesome, man. I mean, D Graves just talked about, coaching elsewhere, a lot of the success that he had, there. And for me, this is different. I was someone he talked about it being purpose driven. And this is definitely my a purpose that was kind of brought upon. It wasn't even something that I was necessarily looking for, but it was an opportunity, and my wife and I we prayed on it. I was very, I don't want to use the word content, but I really liked where I was coaching at before, with some guys that had an amazing relationship. So when the opportunity came, at first I was a little hesitant, um, and unlike Graves, like I don't have a ton of coaching experience. Now I have played a lot of football, and I played for a lot of different coaches, so I learned different coaching styles and whatnot. But for me, there's still a lot of figuring out. So when you say, man, we've won 8 straight games, I think that's a huge testament to my kids and really just buying into a coach that is kind of figuring out things as he goes.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
All right, let's get right into it with these questions. Coaches, I'm going to start with you, Coach Graves, and then we'll flip-flop back and forth between the two of you. Coach Graves, how has the energy been so far leading up to this game?
Energy's been great, man. Most definitely, regardless if me or him was the coach, this is the game that every year the school has it marked on their calendars. But this year, with everybody doing well and what we did last season, and I think that it's just been a build up. We had some good battles in the summertime, and it's going to be pretty exciting. Energy's been good. We like to keep it one game at a time. But this is the week, and it was a normal Saturday practice. We lifted, watched film, but most definitely you could feel it in the air.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Coach Crocker?
Yeah, no, man. I mean, for me, again, this is all new to me. Being a head coach somewhere, really being kind of the face and leader of a program. So I kind of was, as far as the vibes go, I was leaning on other people, not leaning on them to tell me how it was going, but people would come up to me and be like, "Man, this feels different. Man, like, man, you brought some excitement to Stag. We haven't had this kind of excitement in a long time." And with that, that was exciting for me because I knew, like, all right, that was what I hoped to do. when I came here, I told the administration that, one of the things that I never heard was I never heard a kid say, "Man, I'm excited. I can't wait to go to Stag." Like I told them that in my interview. Like I hadn't heard that. So to now go from never hearing that to now hearing, kids say, "Man, like I want to go to Stag. I want to, I want to put a Stag State jersey on." For me, I think that's the biggest testament to, how the energy has been around. And the kids are super excited. My guys, I think each week you see their confidence grow more and more. Again, they're buying in more and more to exactly what we're trying to do. We coach these boys up hard, but they've done an amazing job of just executing or trying to get better each week. And I think with them working hard to get better each week, you feel that around the entire campus and a lot of people from the outside as well. So I think that's cool, man. The energy has been great.
Absolutely. For you, Coach Crocker, when you see this, see this game on the schedule every year, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Oh man. Well, let's just start with like this season, right? When I announced that I had got the head coaching job, I saw people already kind of circling that game. They're like, "Oh, Crock and Graves," and I'm like, hold on, I haven't even coached a high school football game yet. I coached a lot of stuff in between then. And, Graves will tell you, and I'm pretty sure it's kind of both of our kids where we've had to tell them, like, no, you got to take it one game at a time because even our kids were saying, oh, October 30th, everybody was really excited about that. So, for me, I think the dopest thing about it is that the city is excited about it. And I think that's cool because, how often is an entire city excited about one high school football game? Every once in a while, they may be excited about Lincoln and St. Mary's, but that rivalry's been super one-sided. I don't even know if we
Yeah.
call it a rivalry right
Hmm.
now.
Nah, yeah, I would
Yeah.
agree with you.
Coaching that it didn't feel like there was like a true rivalry. People got excited about the St. Mary's game, but this is one where I feel like universally the entire city is like, man, I can't wait to go to this football game. So to me, I mean, that's
Hmm.
pretty cool. And if we can have that kind of energy surrounding this game every year, that'd be pretty dope for the city.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Coach Graves?
Hmm.
Yeah, let me get the question one more time,
Of
just so I can
course. When you
answer it properly.
when you see this team on the schedule in this game, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
I mean, I've been a part of this game, both sides as a player, as a coach. I've coached at Chavez and at Stag, as an assistant coach, receiver coach. And what I can say is every year I just try to take it one week at a time. Last year I was like, oh, we're playing Stag. I didn't really think of it as too much. And then once we got to the Stag game, I'm like, oh, it's cracking. I'm like, it's going down. Like all those old
Go ahead, I
emotions
muted
came
you.
back into play, as a player. So, like I said, the rivalry started. Way back in the day, man, for a lot of different reasons. So this year, you look at it, I was really more worried about the preseason for me personally. But some off-season activities most definitely got me pretty excited for it.
Hmm. Absolutely. Um, right back to you, Coach Graves. How would you describe the atmosphere that you're expecting on Thursday?
It's going to be probably anywhere from 5 to 6,000 people there. It's going to be
Ooh.
cars lined up. It's going to be real Stockton. Coach Crocker is a real Stockton guy. I'm a real Stockton guy. Both great men. Let's get that straight. We're both great men.
Hmm.
Both people who care about their community. Both people who care about kids. Let's throw that out there right now. So it's going to be a rivalry game, and we're both really competitive. So, Croc is a guy who is a friend of mine and was at my wedding, So, at the end of the day, but we're both really competitive, and we have a lot of people who have us in their favor, and I'm not saying as far as coaches, just as people. So it's going to be an exciting environment just because what we're doing for the community. Both our teams have been working hard, extremely hard. And like I said, it's real Stockton, man. You're getting the best of both worlds right here. And, like Coach said, this is the most exciting game in the city this year. It's not even close. You got people from LA trying to fly into the game, You got people from
Mm.
Minnesota logging in, like, hey man, send me that link that you guys are gonna watch on North Valley and all that. So, it's something that alumni from both sides are tapping in and intrigued to do. So the environment is gonna be crazy. It's gonna be a packed house. Everybody in the city is gonna be there from every school, at least a representation from every school. So it's only game, it's only showing town on Thursday, man. It's going down.
Makes
Who
sense.
who whose idea was it to put on Thursday? Because now like that was. towards, and it's kind of playing out, kind of like some of the conversations that Graves and I had in the off season. I'm like, man, that's whoever's idea was to move it to Thursday was great because there's no other game going on. And I was telling
Yeah.
somebody, my wife's right here. I might have been telling my
Start
wife,
time,
hey
Stevie.
D, D Gray said Crock Time Stevie. Um, uh, I might have been telling my wife or I might have been telling my athletic director, but I was like, man, if it goes well and there ain't no issues or anything like that, they need to do that every Thursday, man. For I know next
Yeah.
Friday is Halloween, but if you can do something that gets everybody in one place for a
Right.
positive, to see these kids, and I told my kids too, like focus on the main thing and doing our job and executing. But best believe, like this would be one of the more exciting environments that most of them will have the opportunity to play in, and they'll
Mhm.
remember something like that for the rest of their lives. So I remember playing against Southern University. I went to a Division II school, so we played Southern, and it's a D1, squad, and we got there in Baton Rouge. I just remember the environment, like, man, there's like 50,000 people here. Is there it was like crazy, right? It was jumping. Like you always remember that. So I'm hoping that this would be something that our kids always remember.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
What's going to be, this is for you, Coach Crocker, or for both, but Coach Crocker first. What's going to be the biggest point of emphasis at practice this week?
Oh man, staying there's a few things that have been a big emphasis, but I got some kids that can get a little caught up in some of the extra theatrics.
Curricular.
And I've already had to have conversations with those kids. Like, hey, this is one thing, and you're out of there. So you want to play in this game, you got to make sure that you're disciplined. You got to make sure that you're executing. That's a big emphasis always, at practice. But in this game, where a lot of these kids know each other on the other side, sometimes they get to talking. And I have some kids who can potentially, if they're not careful, start thinking about other things as opposed to what their responsibility is. So that's been a huge emphasis for me. Once the Tokay game ended, and yeah, so that's that. I mean, aside from that, though, the normal, you create game plans. You watch the film. I'm sure Graves has watched. Shoot, we were on FaceTime yesterday morning, and he was talking about watching our games. This might have been 7:30 a.m. And I had already watched theirs, and you continue to dive into it. So there's plenty of film watching going on. You find out some of the things they like, what they maybe get away from, how they may try to attack you, which may be different than what they put on film from other stuff. So you look into all that, then you give the game plan to your kids, and you get them to
Mhm.
work hard in practice, execute the best they can, and go out there and be able to play fast on Thursday night.
Coach Graves?
Yeah, man. For us, it's just just we lose a day of preparation. So it's just making sure we do the right thing. Like I told you before, we do mental Mondays, and I'm going to join mental Mondays tomorrow. We're excited. We're juiced. So the main thing for us is just making sure we stay focused on our assignments. Just because it is a new game plan, everybody's locked in. I think a lot of problems that Coach Croc is facing this year, being a new head coach this year with this staff, well, not with the staff, but with his kids, it's a lot of things I had to go through last year, as far as establishing the culture. Our culture is really set in stone, and we're at that phase where everybody knows what this is. We're not doing the extracurricular activities, and we don't talk online before the games. I think that our kids know what's at hand, and our kids do a great job of buying in to my vision, which I do appreciate them. You're going to get your, little things in the notes and stuff like that, but for the most part, we're at a place where we're a different headspace right now. We're truly lifers right now. Like I said, he has a couple of different challenges that he'll get addressed and fixed. It might not be this year, but it will be next year or the following year. But he's doing a great job, and my kids are ready to go.
Yeah, for sure. Coach
Mhm.
Graves, right back to you. Without giving too much away, what's the one thing that your team needs to execute this week?
Just doing us, man. I think that we are very, very hard to prepare for. I think Coach Crocker could tell you that. We present a lot of problems. We have a big front on both sides of the ball. I call the plays on offense, and I'm not going to like to toot my own horn, but even though I played in pass heavy offenses and got a couple Big Sky records with throwing that ball as a receiver, and I'm not really tripping off throwing the ball. Like if we're gonna run the ball, we can run the ball. We can run the ball 60 times. If we need to pass it, we need to pass it. It is what it is with me. Whatever they do or whatever anybody does versus us, we're just gonna respond accordingly. So whatever is the best way for us to win a game, that's the goal.
Coach Crocker?
What was the question again?
Yeah, I got you. Without giving too much away, what's one thing that your team needs to do to execute this week?
Oh, just execute. You know what I'm saying? Oh, like a simple answer. But at the end of the day, like you said, there's a lot of different things that his team presents, right? That you have to prepare for on both sides of the ball. So we will prepare for it, but and we can come up with these elaborate game plans and all that. But like at the end of the day, it's on the kid. Like D Graves, he can't play, right? I can't play for our kids. Right? Our times are long gone. So it's on them to execute whatever the game plan is. So, for our kids, there's been times where they've executed at a very high level, and there's been times where they didn't play at the standard in which we've, set them to do. So the goal is to be as consistent and efficient as possible with everything that we're asking of them. So yeah, it does come down to just, who executes better, more consistently.
Yeah, I think a big thing in this week that I'm really excited for is to see your guys' running backs. I know over on the Stag side, it's Darnell Holmes. He has over 1,000 rushing yards with 21 touchdowns on the year, but Joel Donald is not very far behind either. He's also over the 1,000 rushing yard mark and 20 touchdowns. Like they're playing very similar this year, but I know tape wise they're not very similar at all. Like I'm excited to see what the running backs look like this week.
They are different styles of backs. I love Joel, the way he runs. Graves and I, we've had conversation. I'm like, really, this is a kid. I'm when he got the Weber State offer, I was like, yeah, like I can see that. He's a he runs strong, damn near run like a Marshawn Lynch or something. You know what I'm saying? Like he's running hard, he's finishing, defenders off when he gets the ball, and he can one cut, put his foot in the ground, get north right now. I think with Darnell, he is different. Like a lot of times, the way Darnell breaks off runs, I'm confused with how he did it. Uh, he's kind of like he's done a really good job of he sets his blockers up extremely well, or he runs off of however his blocks are set up extremely well. And for a guy that's not very big, he runs really strong. He falls forward a lot. Again, he maybe not, won't punish you at the end of a run the way that Joel Donald does, but he's figured out a way to be very productive. And we lean a lot on him. We lean a lot on Darnell. A lot of people know he's getting the rock. And, against Tokay, they knew like, all right, we got to, uh, stop Darnell Holmes. And, he still had 28 carries for 206 yards. And it was a hard fought because, again, a lot of people know he's getting the ball, but he's just up for the task every time. So I can't say enough great things about Darnell. He's the ultimate leader. He's only a junior right now, but he like carries himself
Hmm.
like this old soul. He's the guy that stands up and speaks to the team. He's taken on a great leadership role. And he's also a 4.3 grade point average kid. And he does an amazing job in the classroom. He actually does not go to Stag. He goes to
What?
PL, which is
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
yeah.
I was about to say
Oh no,
CIF, man. CIF.
he
Hold on.
yeah, he goes to Pacific Law Academy. Which
Ah,
a lot of people don't know a whole lot about it, but I mean a lot about, but it's a school literally right next door to Stag,
yeah.
high academic stuff, and we have several of our
Wow.
best kids between Darnell, who's amazing. And we got Elias Mal, who is amazing. He goes to PLA as well. He's a really high GPA kid. We have the sack leader in our league right now, and LaRon Bursey. He's a PLA kid. So I think a lot of people are like, oh, Stag, Stag. We have a lot of high grade point average kids at Stag, but we also
Mhm.
have Pacific Law Academy. That's a great option for people, and we have some amazing football players that are coming from there as well.
Hold on. Let me tap in because he's telling his program a little more than me right now. Them, I don't, bro. We make it happen over here. I don't know, bro. Like, just come over here. Whatever. No, I'm playing.
So Coach Crocker, you talk about Darnell, really stepping up as a leader. Is there really been anybody else that's like truly stepped up this year?
Yeah, I think we have all kind of like different type of leaders. We have some that are emotional leaders, and we can count on my guy Antoine Williford to be that, right? Like just that fire plug. He's gonna go make plays. He's gonna be excited. He's gonna get hyped up. He's going to be very demanding of his players, his teammates. We got Mike Gonzalez, who is terrific as well. He's flying around. He's going to make plays. He's hitting guys. And for a guy that's maybe, 180 pounds, he throws his body around a lot. And then we have a young dude who probably came into the season as my most immature player, but Kimani Eskridge, he has started to be kind of like that vocal energy. He knows he's like working towards taking on that role for next season, but he has been really, really good at that on and off the field. He holds players accountable. He'll come and be like, "Hey, Coach Croc, man, this guy did this. He needs a role for it, or he needs to run for this. I don't like how he did that." So he'll come to me and hold some of his teammates accountable, and he'll tell them as well. And I don't know if he motivated my guy Williams in the last game, but I guess because Williams ended up making the game-saving play, but we had a blown assignment, which we rarely have. And we had the blown assignment, gave up the play. Williams knew, Darion, he knew, what it was. But Cam hit him in the helmet and was like, bro, like, wake up. We don't do that. You know what I'm saying? And next thing you know, 2 plays later, Darion comes up with an interception,
Wow.
So I think that speaks to the growth of Cam and the type of leader that he's grown to be. So yeah, we got a few different type of leaders, and they're kind of leading, a few different ways.
That's good. Over to
We
you,
got a
Coach
spiritual
Graves.
leader too, man. Lance Martin. He's like our spiritual leader. He's gonna post, Bible scriptures in our chat. He's not the loudest person. You're not gonna hear him, but he holds himself to a high standard, and he's had a lot of different things that he's battling through this season. But he comes, he plays hard, and he continues to bring like that scripture and everything. So a few different type of leaders on our squad.
Absolutely. Over to you, Coach Graves.
Man, you got to tell me the question again. He was popping it.
Any
Come on, bro. We got to bring it
anybody
back.
that's
I mean,
anybody that's
yeah, I know the
really
whole team now.
yeah, anybody that's really stepped up as a leader this year.
A lot of individuals, man. I want to start off with Demarion McDonald, a guy a lot of people counted out before I even got the job. He was rough around the edges, and he is mentally, physically, and every which way vocally, just really been the guy that we needed him to be. At the right times. Like I told you last episode, he is in the weight room getting stronger, and he's kind of like the guy. I'm like, man, we got to do, man. Lamonte Barlow at times too. Elijah Walker, our quarterback, even though he's a sophomore, really knows how to get the guys going, and he's like an on the field coach, right? He's a kid that I could most definitely just communicate certain things to a certain type of way, and he can relate it in different ways as well. Jackson Batch is a great leader as well. We actually got a team full of leaders in their own ways. We got a lot of good leaders in their own ways. The O line is more so our O and D line. At times, they have a great personality. Let me say that they got great personalities. They I always tell them like, "Hey man, y'all gonna have some when y'all get to college, y'all gonna be pulling the bad girls because y'all got this so much charisma. You feel me? Like, they're gonna have. I always tell one of my lineman Jordan, I'm like, man, you're gonna get a tall volleyball girl in college. You got that kind of swag. They all got that charisma about them. They all got that swag about them. So we got some leaders, man, too. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
For sure. Right back to you, Coach Graves. What growth have you seen from your team since week one? Really, since week zero, preseason, all that stuff.
Yeah, no. Since preseason, man, I just seen a buy-in each and every week, every day. January, we had high numbers when I first got the job. In January or December, and we started the weight room February 8th of 2000 and what was that 24. I think we had consistently showing up inconsistently 6 to 8 guys. That was 2 years ago. This year, day one, we had over 35 guys, and that's with guys playing basketball, wrestling, track. So that's what I've seen a growth in the program, just an overall buy-in. And we have a lot of guys that do off-season activities as well, as far as travel ball, 7-on-7, 5-on-5. But they still made sure that they came to weights at least 3 to 4 times a week, however much times we held it. Summertime buy-in was over 95%. Only time guys really miss if they had like a family thing planned beforehand. And I'm not about to argue with no parents. That's what I'm not gonna do. It's crazy. I love my parents, but I'm like, hey, whatever y'all say, bro, just go over there and do that. But the overall experience has just been great. From week zero to what is it, week 0, week 1, whatever they consider it. We had our first game was versus Pacheco, and I love when we win a game and our players like it's just kind of like bro, like we left so much out there. So it was really good to play against the state championship program at Escalon and respond. Our guys they didn't feel no panic whatsoever. We were down by 9 points, or we were down by 7 points with 9 minutes left. Or no, we were down by 9 points with 7 minutes left in the game. And nobody was like, oh, down in the dumps. It was like, nah, we got this shit. Like, we got this. We ain't worried about it. They was like, Coach, why was y'all dancing on the sideline? I'm like, bro, that's who we are. Like, we don't care if we down by 9 points. We lifers. Like I said, the buy-in with Mental Monday. Like I told you guys before, 15 minutes for beginning of every week. We're going through some things. Like we're making the hardest thing at the beginning of the week, and we're still going to do it tomorrow, even though it's a short week.
Hmm.
So the overall buy-in has just been great. Each week getting better and better. And not judging so much off of what we could have done, but like, oh, what did we not do, and moving on from it fast. A flushing mentality.
For sure.
Mhm.
Coach Crocker?
Yeah, I think the biggest difference,
A
I'd
lot of
say,
things.
even from going all the way back to when I got hired in November, late November. So I think we started doing some stuff in December, but guys learning how to hold each other accountable. I think that's a big thing. When you come and you have this thought on how things, need to be and holding these kids to a certain standard and maybe doing certain things or pushing them to do certain things that they're not accustomed to doing, right? Which kind of happens sometimes when you're taking over a program. Um, each and every week, these kids, once I started hearing them say things that I tell them, that's when I was like, all right, we're heading in the right direction. So I think that's been the biggest thing. And then they're just buying in, again, week after week. I had one kid, I hold him to all of them to a very high standard. And he was like, man, coach, like, if you don't like me, just tell me you don't like me. And it's like, bro, I tell you I love you. I tell you this because like I care about you. And now if you don't want someone who loves you, if you don't want someone who wants you to be the best version of yourself, then maybe this isn't for you. But if you want someone that's going to challenge you and push you to go above and beyond whatever you even think is possible for yourself, then hey, just lock in and you're going to get there. And I've seen the guys really like take that on each and every week and improve more and more. And I've seen it, in their play. So I saw it the Tokay game. Last year, they lost that game. I think last year the game that we just played, they would have lost that if they would have went about it with the same mindset that they've had. But we worked towards changing that, and those dudes battled through whatever adversity we faced in that game. And I think that's a testament to everything that they've gone through to this point. I think one of the turning points was when we went on a hike. Man, we went to we took the kids to Mission Peak and hiked in the mud all the way up. You know what I'm saying? And when they got to the top, it was like, dang, that was tough. You know what I'm saying? But you start to go through those things and you go through it with one another, it kind of builds a certain bond. And I think we're starting to see that play out.
Absolutely. This one for you, Coach Crocker. How do you keep your younger players, kind of your underclassmen, ready for the pressure on Thursday?
Oh man, I think the younger players, getting them ready for the moment. Everything can't just be me. You know what I'm saying? Like I can preach it, but again, it comes from them seeing guys do things the right way. So I always, I'll talk to one of my players and be like, hey, like, they're looking at you. They're gonna do what you do. So when our younger guys see our older guys doing things the right way, then they just want to strive to kind of be that and follow that example. So again, I think that comes back to a lot of the leaders that I've had in the different ways that they've grown into leadership. And you see everybody working hard. So I had a kid today, a freshman, is a freshman that we brought up, never played football before in his life, like ever. No flag football, no nothing.
Mm.
And we pulled him up to varsity midseason, and he's done well. He tries really hard. He's still learning what the hell football is. But today he's out there running and pulling goddamn soccer goal post and running up. I mean, he's just gritty. I think he's gonna
You
be
mean yesterday, right, Coach?
yeah, yesterday.
Yeah. See, I tell you, bro. Like, say
No,
that.
hey, listen, I didn't tell him to go work out. I ain't telling him nothing. He went and worked out. That's him. I ain't telling him nothing.
Okay, I'm thinking like you. I thought y'all was holding practice. He's getting an extra
Oh
day
no,
on
no,
it.
no, 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 no.
But it sounded like
Hey,
we were breaking some CIF
I've been
rules or
watching
something.
film. I've been watching film. There's football on. I've been at the crib all day. Uh, so whatever
Good
the kids
job.
do, like that's on them. And he went out there and went and worked out. You know what I'm saying? But that's the
Told me
type of
one.
kids that we're kind of, we have where they want to get better and they understand that, whatever we have coming up, you better be prepared or you just ain't gonna play. So they're figuring that out right now, and I think they've all taken on that challenge, the younger guys included.
For sure.
Told me one.
Yeah. Coach Graves,
I need the question again.
of
I ain't gonna
course, of course. Well, how are you going to get your younger players, mainly your underclassmen, really ready for this game on Thursday? How do you keep the pressure off them? And
They're ready. They're ready. When we move guys up, we move them up intentionally, and we prepare them. I think that we've already played in tough, challenging games, especially the beginning of the season with Franklin L. Grove and um, was it not Pacheco, but Escalon. So we put them in situations. When we bring them up, we want them to play. We want them to be in those situations, and we practice really hard. When we go against each other, we're not going to treat them like an underclassman. We're going to treat them like a varsity player. So the main thing is preparing these guys. We do weights 4 days a week. We lift on Monday, Tuesday. We lift on Thursday. So we're going to lift on Wednesday this week, the day before the game. And a lot of people, that's unheard of to lift the day before the game because you're going to be sore. But we turned up. We ready. Every young player has got stronger in our program. Everybody has had in-season maxes have increased dramatically for some and a little bit for others, but it's always been an increase. Most of the time in season, when people lift, it's to maintain. That's even at the college level. We've had significant jumps, so we're excited.
amazing. Right back to you. What is something about your team that fans might not see on Friday night or Friday or this Thursday night that you are proud of?
I'm just proud of the resilience. As far as most of these kids were counted out, even kids who did come to our program, they might have not been all the way believed in or whatever the case is. And I like to look at this as second chancers or, guys who just are just embracing everything, man. I got a couple kids on my team who just like, Coach Graves, thank you for an opportunity. I like to see each kid for who they are and not what they could do. And it's a competition. I don't have a horse in the race. And even when I do have a horse in the race, when my son becomes a varsity player, he's a normal player. Had an opportunity to coach him in Pop Warner last year. Like, you're not starting your son? I'm like, what, this ain't no daddy ball around here. So the same thing with my players. Everybody has an opportunity, and then we like to rotate guys as well to give them opportunity. So what you need to see is resilience by each and every individual. For example, you see people who care about their brothers, people who are competitive with their brothers. Joel Donnell, we was talking about him earlier. We're playing against Franklin L. Grove. Eugene Yarborough, who is our utility guy, plays everything for us as far as middle backer, tight end, fullback, running back, gets it in. He had some, he's our next up back, and he got us down there with some really tough runs on the goal line. We're about to put Joel in, and Joel is selfless. That's what I always try to preach to our guys, not to be selfish. I'd be like self, and they say list, right? That's what the mentality is. But to go back to that story, we're about to put him in. He said, "Nah, coach, let him finish." This is a guy who was a senior and is getting a ton of D1 looks, and we finally got that D1 offer. But to be in a situation where you could easily get your numbers up and stuff like that, you're like, nah, like he earned that, coach. Leave him in. Kind of just shows you who we are as a unit, and the resilience that we have and the selflessness that we have. So that's what people don't see is that they really care and buy in. Some of the transfers that we do got, I kind of ask some questions like, hey, was y'all close over there at that school? They're like, coach, we way. I'm like, we're over there. Y'all wasn't close. And they be like, coach, like it was. I'm not gonna get. Not saying his school, but schools too. They be like, nah, coach, like we close. I'm like, dang. So I'll be trusting over nothing. Like, coach, we good. So I think just the resilience by each and every young man, whatever challenge, because we coach them up hard. We're very tenacious. We have a really tough style of coaching, and we're going to be very direct and straightforward, but we win with love at the same time. So you're going to see resilience by my group.
For sure. Over to you, Coach Crocker. I can repeat the question if you need me to.
Yeah, yeah, yes, please.
Yeah, I got you. What is something that you're proud of that maybe the fans don't typically see on a, for at least this Thursday or in previous Friday nights? Something that you're proud of about your team?
Man, we started doing something where we have, every Thursday, we have a pregame meal and we have Bible study. And
Mm.
seeing some of their guys, some of the guys bring a Bible, they listen. They, the more we did it, they started asking, certain questions, asked to, for certain prayers for different things that they may be going through. So just to see that the spirit of the Lord is alive and well at Stagg High School, and kids are buying into that. I think that's been one of the most amazing things that I've seen since being there. I think just in general you know the you know the spirit of everything is kind of going crazy here right now in the United States, and I think a lot of people feel like less and less. There's less and less believers. So to see, to try to make an impact however I can. I don't push it on them. They know it's optional. You don't gotta be in there. You don't gotta. You can grab a plate and go. You can eat if you want. You can hear the message if you want, or you can go whatever you want to do. I don't force them to do anything, but to see them, buying in and really, interested about learning more about the Lord and I think that's been a really great thing for us.
Amen.
Yeah, amen on that.
Hmm.
Right back to you, Coach Crocker. What is one thing that you respect about the program sitting across from you?
Oh man, just shoot. I can list a lot of things. I like Grace said, we go back. You know what I'm saying? I'd say here's the biggest thing I give them, and this is a great testament to D. Um, I see a program that has taken on his personality. And I think a lot of people they may see D Graves and be like, oh, he's cocky or whatever. But it's like, bruh, Graves always been this very confident person as long as I've known him. You know what I'm saying? I remember training with him back in 2012, 2013, all that, right? And he's always been like this very confident person. And I think the biggest compliment I can give to him and what he's bred into that program is that was, like you said, that was a school that was 0 and 10. I didn't take over an 0 and 10 team. You know what I'm saying? You take over an 0 and 10 team, that's I'm not saying the kids are losers, but like that's been a losing culture, right? And for them to turn around and have the utmost confidence with everything that they're doing and buying into that, I think that's amazing. I think that's what a lot of programs strive to do. So, just the confidence that he has instilled in them taking on that personality, I think is a great thing.
For sure. Coach Graves?
Repeat the question again, please.
Yeah,
Appreciate that. Yeah,
of
thank you. It means a lot by you to say that. Thank you.
what's one thing that you respect about the program that you're going to see on Thursday?
I respect the leader, just like you said, man. And we said at the beginning of this, Eric is a guy I know is a great man, first and foremost, and he has the right intentions. But as far as the football program, I like their energy they possess right now. I think that is something exciting brewing over there. I coached with Coach Norton before, and I played with Coach Norton when I was a sophomore in varsity before I transferred to Chavez, and they opened up Chavez. So I think that he brings a new excitement and a new energy to the program, and the kids are slowly but surely, trying to understand his way of doing things. I'm pretty sure he had some troubles early on, especially when you had a coach there for over 40 years and 20 years as a head coach.
Hmm.
But I'm glad that they are turning things around, and I'm excited for him and his program and the excitement that they have every game.
Absolutely. What's your favorite memory from past games between the two schools?
Yeah, who
Between
got
like
it, man?
Chavez and
Yeah,
Tech.
Yes.
go ahead, Croc. You got it.
Well, the only other time I've been a part of this game was when D Graves and I were coaching together at Chavez in
Hmm.
2016.
Who's the head coach?
And I think Cottrell Haywood kicked our ass. So that's not a positive memory. I mean, it's positive for Cottrell. He was an amazing football player. Um, but that's really the only memory I have from this game. And I probably like to forget that.
Hey, like you've been coaching for so long. I'm like, yeah, Croc, we did coach with each other at Chavez.
Yeah. 2016, he was receiver coach. I was defensive back coach. Latif Grimm was head coach. You know what I'm saying? So, and you know what? I learned a lot from that season. It was challenging. I think we won 2 games. Um,
No, we went 0-10. You know what I'm saying?
Wait. Oh, see, I told you I try to forget that. I try to forget. Like,
It
I learned
wasn't
a
my
lot
0 and
about that.
10. That was his 0 and 10. He was one and done. That's what it is.
Ooh, I learned a lot from that season, man, for different reasons. It was tough, but yeah. Anyways, going back to the original question, that was my only experience with this
Okay.
game, and we were on the wrong side of it.
Coach Graves?
Yeah, no, man, I got a lot of memories of it. I think that I don't want to make this about me, but this rivalry started kind of like I was right there with it, and it kind of like got magnified when I transferred from Stag. And my teammate, my cousin, we transferred from Stag. We were both on varsity, and then when we did leave, year one, we only had juniors at Chavez, and they got on our helmets. After a year of training and pre-lifers before we had the word lifers, and we were actually living the lifer motto and creating it back then, the new generation. We went from 1-9 my junior year to next year we went 7-3. But my biggest memory is as a senior. We was playing at UOP versus
Whoa.
a good Stag team, and it was 6-0 going into halftime. And then we came out. We had some locker room talks at halftime, and we just kept playing 4 quarters of football, and the final score was 42-6. That was my biggest memory. As far as a player, but as a coach, was last year holding up that trophy that we're talking about right now. That stands out more than anything. Especially from the 0-10 program and the kids buying in such a short amount of time. And I think that those two memories as a player, that's my best memory. But as a coach, that you couldn't ask for more. First time in school history, outright league champions in that game too. Coach Norton's last game. So it was a full circle moment for me, being that Coach Norton's first win ever. I got moved up to varsity as a sophomore was versus Tracy High. And, so I was a part of his first win. I caught a 46-yard touchdown. We won that game. And then I love Coach Norton, but, play
And
him in
you,
his
you were
last
his you were
game.
his last loss. Man, that's crazy. Look how you did. You sent him out with an L.
Hey man, hey look, I love Coach Norton. I'm glad that he did great things for Stag High School and the Stockton community. Let's start it out there. Coach Norton was a GOAT and still is a GOAT. He did amazing things for our community and served his kids from all walks of life. I'm glad to see him living his life right now, hoping in the community still.
And shout out to Coach Norton. I think in this situation, with me coming in, someone could be, feel some type of way or whatever. But he texts me before every game. He texts me after the game. He asks me, if there's anything that I need help with. So, Coach Norton has been nothing but supportive for me. So that just speaks volumes to the person that he is.
Amazing. All right. I believe I got one question left for you guys. We'll
Darn.
start with Coach Crocker. What's the message to your fans, players, students, families, everything like that that come out and support?
Oh man, what's the message to him? I think the loudest message that we can send with them is to go out there, our players, and play like they're being coached up to play. And for our parents, I think I've gotten a lot of messages about just how excited they've been for the season and how much they appreciate, the kind of season that the kids are having. So, it's not really so much about this game, but for me, just, getting the parents to have like a positive experience, watching a lot of their kids be on the field and contribute to games and try to play at a high level. So, for me, yeah, that's it, man. With the coach, with the players, with the parents, man, just trying to go out there and do something that they can be proud of.
Absolutely. Coach Graves?
Can you repeat the question one more time, sir? Just so I
Yeah, of
can
course. What's the message that
resonate.
you have, for the fans, for your students, your athletes and families that are all coming out to support?
Man, I just think that it's going to be a great environment. It's going to be something that the city hasn't felt in a long time. As we said earlier, it's a real rivalry game. You guys are going to feel all the emotions. You guys are going to feel the excitement, the energy. It's going to be contagious. It's going to be an amazing environment. The only game that matters this week is Stag and Chavez. That's what everybody is talking about. This week, every program is going to be talking about our game at their practice. And that's dope to me. You're gonna hear people in the store talking about our game on Facebook, Instagram. This is gonna be the biggest event of the year. It's nothing bigger, like literally nothing bigger, and it's led by two great men, as we discussed, who really care about kids and is trying our best to instill the right things in their lives. We're walking examples. We both come from it. We are not just uh, we were different at one time, and we just wanted to make sure we wanted to be great, just great for our community. So I'm really proud of him, really proud of what he's doing. I'm really proud of my staff and how they support me and my kids buying in. But as far as the fans, man, you guys are going to see an exciting environment, and you guys are the environment. So make sure you come out and just really make this game to what it could be and what it should be. At the end of the day, we need to make Stockton football on top, and it starts with us. It's real
Yep.
Stockton.
Absolutely. Well, once again, these two will be facing off on Thursday, October 29th at Chavez High School. It's going to be, like we've been talking about this whole episode, it's going to be a good one. So if you have the chance on Thursday, get out there, go watch it. It'll be one to remember for a while. Thank you, both of you guys coaches. Thank you for being on, taking time out of your busy week. I know you guys got a lot to prepare for this week, so we're super excited to see what the outcome can be. Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, no, 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 don't bring the boom box out and all that stuff, man. I know you guys bring the boom box. Get excited. Don't do that. I'm nervous. I know. I mean, make sure it's some holy music on there. Sometimes we just talk about the Lord, my Lord and Savior, but
Come on, man.
some of that little stocking rap I be hearing be kind of throwing me off. So make sure please don't listen to that. We might be a little
Yeah.
intimidated by that. So please just
Get out of here, man. Them dudes, man. Them dudes, if I know anything, man, them boys gonna be ready for whatever. Nah, like you said, man, it's exciting, man. This is exciting for me. And I'll tell you one thing that I'm really excited about. That I won that Tokay game, so this game can have a little more pizzazz.
Yeah.
if
Because
you wouldn't have won that game, I would not be on this interview. I promise you. I told Crock in the morning. I told him when we talked that morning. I heard the score. I was literally about to text him. I never pressed in though because I had to use the bathroom at halftime. I texted him. It just said, "Hey, tighten up."
yeah, so yeah, now we tightened up and made it to where this is a game that people can be excited about going to. So I know I'm excited. I know I'm hella excited. The kids are excited. I know his kids are excited. So now it's gonna be fun.
Tighten up, baby.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Can't wait. Yeah, I saw
Guys.
someone, for people that are watching on YouTube and stuff, someone said in the comments, we're live right now. Yes, it
Captain
is the
209, follow
30th. It's the 30th, not the 29th. That is my fault. But yeah, can't wait to see you all out there. Thank you again, coaches.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
For having me on.
Absolutely. Of
All right.
course. Thank you guys.